Welcome to Floating Leaf Tea Podcast. I'm Shiuwen.
And I'm Noah.
Okay.
Today, I've been thinking a lot about chili. So, that's kind of off topic for the start. But I've been thinking a lot about chili. And that's when you're thinking about warm foods like chili, what better teas to drink than a roasted oolong?
Do they go well together?
I don't know, but the
feeling, maybe.
Chili definitely doesn't remind me of High Mountain oolong.
But maybe afterwards, High Mountain oolong can be
maybe kind of nice. Yeah.
Can be a really nice tea to cut through the grease, the heaviness, and the spiciness.
But because we don't have chili, and I'm fantasizing about it.
True.
I thought, why not try 2 roasted oolongs?
Oh, whoa!
But I didn't tell you what they are, right? And just have them in a cup.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
I actually asked you not to tell me what the teas are.
Yeah, so there are 2 mystery roasted oolongs as far as you're concerned.
Correct. I actually wish we have another person here to do the tea for us so that you don't know either.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So sometimes we have to take turns for this then. Today I have 2 objects. One is practice.
Objectives, right?
Objective, yeah. Almost close to objects.
Okay, cool.
Objectives. One is to continue to practice teachers teaching, be neutral when we, not judge teas when we evaluate teas, be neutral. And I found, in a way, what is a better way for me to be neutral is not to know what I'm drinking, and just use my senses to evaluate them. Second, today, actually the focus of the session, I would like to bring back the tea into the body again, which will be more on the first hit of the tea, nose and mouth. So today I want to focus on the scent and the mouth and texture, Why do I want to do this? It's very important to me. And I noticed in the past few sessions, we go very deep with our teas, which is nothing wrong with that. But I think we mentioned a lot of big concepts, and sometimes they can lead people not to actually focus on the tea on the
direct experience of the tea, right?
That's right.
Not as focused on the direct experience of the tea.
Yeah.
Because I think we've the last few sessions have been really fun.
Yeah.
But a little bit on the heady side, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
further away from the direct experience.
I would say
flavor.
More like the things that pass down to the throat, to the body, to the expansion, and even spiritual kind of a journey, which I think this is part of tea. People should seek that for sure. I think without that, tea is not complete either. But I will still want to make my, in a way, my focus on the mouth texture and the scent texture, because if people not really paying attention to them, sometimes I feel like when we start to experience tea spiritually, it can be too out of body, actually.
There's a Chinese idiom.
Oh, okay.
捕风捉影.
捕风捉影. Oh, can you translate that?
Grasping at wind and grabbing at shadows.
Yeah.
Or
which
reflections.
Is not very real.
Not grounded in real experience.
Yeah.
Objective experience.
And I still, deeply believe that when either the tea roaster or the farmer, when they communicate their quality to us tea drinkers, one shall not ignore the part. I would say the senses from our face and our mouth and nose. That's what you call the direct experience. I think a lot of people are too eager to go through the spiritual journey, and also one way why today I reflect about this is because we do have people to ask us to suggest them tea that will open their third eye chakra or
open their heart
chakra.
Yeah, I've gotten both of those before.
Sure. And I think we have very good conversation on that. Normally when that happen, we actually didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
And I always feel like if a tea drinker doesn't know what good tea is, can they really open those chakras to first? Can a tea open those chakras? And second, what does opening those chakras really mean to the person?
Yeah, that was my question when I started reflecting on, trying not to be, judgmental or anything, just trying to think like what is that?
What does that mean? And I mean, our job even, fundamentally is to find the right cup of tea for people who come to seek us out. So I'm going to, bring people back to the texture part of the tea and keep your ground with that, because when you have so much experience with that, really good tea will open up for you. And bad tea will also open up to you in a shocking way.
Which is you need to be able to see
you need to see bad tea.
Because when a good tea shows up to you, you need to be able to see how good it is.
Yeah.
If you're paying $100 for a bag of tea, and the only difference is someone told you that it's really amazing and it can open your third eye chakra, then do you really know why you're paying $50, $80 extra for that bag of tea? Maybe not. And that's what I would call a top-heavy tea drinking practice.
Cool. So let's proceed then. Very fun not to know the teas before I drink it, and also I feel a little bit scared. Because my ego shows up.
Yeah,
my ego shows up. Okay, let's reheat up the tea kettle again.
Cool.
I mean the teapot. And the dry leaves, just feel like both teas are roasted. And I might actually know what both teas are actually. Which will cloud my judgment.
Oh. You don't know. I got these teas from a random guy. I got them shipped in.
From a random guy?
I got them shipped in from some random guy.
Which random guy shipped you tea?
I don't know. Some guy from Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Since we'll have 2 parts of tea, I'll use a little bit less leaves and then maybe 3 infusions.
Cool, sounds good.
Yeah. Cool. Kind of fruity, kind of stinky.
Stinky, toasty, like toasted grain a little bit.
I think sometimes stinky is not...
Like stinky tofu.
It's not a bad thing. Because I mean, in wine, please people correct me, okay? I don't actually drink wine almost like never right now. Just don't feel like it. But I remember some of the French wines have like horse poop.
Like manure, yeah. They call it manure, I think.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to use that word, so I just go direct with the poop word. Taste or smell, I guess.
You know what else has that sometimes is really good baijiu.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see. I don't drink baijiu either. Wow.
Scent on the top of the broth is rich, a little toasty, but rich and kind of thick.
I agree. And I would say at the first infusion, just on the scent texture, it kind of hit the point of the nostril to the face, but not necessarily passing it too much yet.
No.
Yeah.
What I feel it the scent can pass towards the throat a little bit, but not up.
Not up. Yeah, it doesn't go up. So when it doesn't go up, it actually create a feeling of like, well, can it pass or not?
Yeah.
And it is pretty thick and not soft.
No,
it's not a soft texture on the scent tea. Like soft, I would say, since we just went through that High Mountain blind tasting.
Yeah.
The special reserve teas, that softness is incredible.
Yeah, in particular the special reserve Alishan and Lishan.
Alishan actually left quite a strong kind of impression on me on that softness, on the texture.
And this one is not very soft.
It's not really soft.
It's thick and rich and almost like there's a almost like stew kind of thickness.
I think you're thinking chili too much.
I am thinking chili. I'm thinking chili. But there's like a richness to it that kind of sticks in your throat a little bit.
I'll say the texture of the broth, when it hit the mouth, it have a little bit roundness to it actually. But the flavor is strong. Yeah. Cover the tongue, just like spray up on the tongue really well. The side of the tongue, very well. Actually, huge impression on the side of the tongue. Rooftop got a little bit too, because there's a little bit roundness in there. Yeah. And then maybe next one, let's see if it moved to the throat. Salivation currently is fairly strong. And the toastiness show up too at the aftertaste.
Oh, I know what I'm thinking of. It's not stew, it's gravy.
Oh yeah, you haven't cooked your turkey yet.
True, yeah. My Thanksgiving turkey
is
still in the freezer because of obvious reasons. Plans got changed, but you're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
One of these days. One of these months.
Yeah, because what did we have for Thanksgiving meal?
We just got like really not very good Thanksgiving style food from the grocery store, from the hot section. We were just feeling really lazy that day, remember?
Yeah.
Just like,
and then we were also not planned, so some better grocery store already closed for us to do the buy-in.
And all that was left was like shredded chicken.
That's right.
Remember?
Not even turkey.
No, it was shredded chicken and then like some steamed Brussels sprouts.
Which is that overcooked?
Yeah. It was nice to not have to cook anything though.
Yeah. I stick to my policy
of not cooking on Thanksgiving.
Not cooking.
I like to cook on Thanksgiving, but I was just tired that day.
I don't cook on Thanksgiving. I usually get adopted on Thanksgiving Day and eat people's food. But 2020, it was kind of difficult to get adopted.
Nobody could adopt anybody.
Not even real family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did our not so good grocery store style of a Thanksgiving meal.
But there you go. That's what it was. Gravy.
Gravy. Interesting.
That thickness of gravy.
Huh.
Darker this time.
Tea opens up a little bit further now.
Ooh, there you go. Some
thick.
big
flavor.
Some punch in the scent.
Yeah. Still not soft, not fine.
Yeah, not at all.
Big, big, thick kind of a texture. Today I focus more on the texture because I really want to do that. And see where the tea is going to. But I will limit to just the head part of my body then today.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. To the throat, and then that's it.
I think with flavor notes are interesting. You can kind of lay out where the different, like how high the notes are, how low the notes are, whatever. With texture, you can start to have a little bit more of a direct experience of what it feels like, right? You're not really thinking, you're just feeling.
I would say right now feels like the presence past my nostril a little bit further now. Yeah. And still the same, like what you said earlier on, it goes to the throat.
It goes to the throat a lot more than it goes up.
Very low tone kind of a texture too. Yeah. And the toastiness is still there, which almost creates some sharpness kind of a feeling on the scent. Broth is actually quite round for how sharp the tea can feel.
It's like
on the smell.
edges. I don't know if I would call it sharp necessarily, personally, but I would call it definitely is a little edgy. But like you said, the broth feels really...
Broth, feels more open,
round,
even, and round and spread and then puff just a little bit. So it's actually quite a solid and round style of teas.
And fairly heavy.
Yeah, fairly heavy on the feeling too. And then let's see if it goes through my throat area. Yep.
Easy, yeah.
Yeah, throat sensation is totally there. And once again, because it moved to the side so well, the side of my tongue, some people might link it to the tongue or to the cheek. So whatever you choose. And underneath the tongue so well that the salivation is really big. Yeah.
It fills the mouth.
Yeah,
this tea fills the mouth really well.
Yeah. But not necessarily all the way up to the roof.
It touches it though.
It does. Yeah.
Smell the bottom of your empty cup.
I see, smell the texture, huh? Since it's lighter, it's empty already, and it's just air. Well, before it was air too, by the way, sorry. Somehow it's a broth that dimension is so different. This one I just feel like it will go, it goes through the head.
Yeah, it can go up more.
Yeah, it go up much more and much lighter on the texture.
There's a big difference between smelling the top of the broth when there's tea in the cup and then when there's just evaporating off the bottom of your cup. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it able to go up more.
Go up much more. Later, should I guess the tea?
If you want to, yeah. But you know, the way that it goes up is not like, for example, when we're drinking Lishan on the live blind tasting of High Mountain Oolongs, the Lishan Special Reserve. Mm-hmm. The way that it goes up is really soft, and really intricate,
soft. Yeah.
And there's a lot of movement that happens beyond the nostrils, right? Mm-hmm. And this one, it just like kind of punches through, it just penetrates through, and then just like there, bang, you got it.
Maybe brew it a bit longer on the third infusion then.
Cool. Yeah.
See how
Push
you can
it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Why not?
My mind keeps going back to how I'm going to make my next pot of chili. I can't stop thinking about it.
Focus, man. Also, now I'm just noticing the aftertaste. And I mean, it salivates. And I don't know how to, maybe you can help me to translate this. The feeling, the midu is not high enough.
In the aftertaste?
Yes. Some tea feels really, even that aftertaste that nothing is in the mouth, and you can still feel the texture, the feeling is
yes, I know exactly what you're saying.
Or we can just leave it like that.
Yeah.
People is like, what?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too is hard to translate. Me is kind of hard to translate. But I usually translate it as concentration, how concentrated it is. Mm-hmm. Kind of like if you're looking at a bunch of dots on a piece of paper, or on a screen actually, and you zoom in, and there's actually more dots when you zoom in, and you zoom in further, and there's actually more dots in between those dots the more you zoom in.
Yeah.
So there's just more within. It's not that it's necessarily stronger or thicker or heavier. It's just like the more you go into it, the more there is.
There's more things in between. Yeah.
Like they're closer to each other and closer to each other.
And feel tighter and more interesting.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's heavier though.
No.
Sometimes a light, wonderful tea will actually fulfill that. And a heavy, wonderful tea will actually do that too. Once again, the surface smell on the broth is thick and toasty and still feels kind of almost gets stuck. It will pass, but like the presence feels more inside of the nostril rather than passing through.
It's just a little on the coarse side.
Yeah. It does pass through to the throat pretty directly.
Yeah, throat sensation is solid on this tea, scent-wise and broth-wise. The liquid sprays so well, also on the coarse side. The presence of this tea is big. Yeah, and not super delicate or refined kind of a way. Immediate link to the throat and throat sensation, it's big and warm. Yeah, that is so big you can't ignore it. Yeah, and once again, the salivation, since it filled the mouth so well, the broth filled the mouth so well, it turned around and just like salivate from underneath the tongue, from side of the tongue, so well. Yeah. Very solid tea. Extremely solid tea. Okay. Very good. And I'll stop myself from talking about my body. Just leave it as it is. Maybe put it in a cup. Cool. Yeah, sounds good. Soak it later.
Next week might possibly snow.
Oh, cool. That would be fun. That'd be a perfect time for
chili.
Yeah. Sorry.
Why are you so obsessed with chili?
I don't know. Something about it, just whenever I think about making it, just takes over my mind, and I think about what I'm going to do differently this time and how it's going to be so good because of how I cook it and the ingredients that I use. Just like, when I make Indian food, I just get kind of obsessed for like a day, and then I make it and I'm fine.
Yeah, because you got exhausted.
Yeah, exactly. I just got to it's like the chili is taking over my spirit.
That's cool though.
Because chili, because chili has a lot of flavors in it, but really the thing that makes it come alive is the chili pepper, you know? The chili pepper is kind of like the
soul.
Yeah, the soul. It's like the soul of chili peppers in a dish. Now there's a lot of dishes with chili peppers in it, but you know what I mean. Just a really nice representations of what chili peppers can do.
Oh, nice.
The sun came through. Like one of those...
Wow.
One of those Renaissance paintings.
Yeah.
You can hear the monks.
Yeah, you does see the church paintings, huh?
You can see it, right?
With the light.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. And then that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
just a minute.
You see some miracle for like 3 seconds.
Okay, back to the tea. Second tea is in the pot now. The hot pot. The scent is... Ooh, yum.
I mean, it has a very clear scent like the first tea.
Yeah.
But the scent feels softer and more... I would say this is an example of that me do concentration thing, that it's something more tightened.
It's not heavier than the last tea.
No, it's not heavy.
It's actually probably lighter.
Light feels, but in a way, more solid.
More solid, yeah.
More solid. Yeah, really hard for me to explain the concept. I hope someday I will have the wisdom to express this specific concept.
You can see a lot from the broth even. The color of the broth is more of a pinkish color.
What does pinkish color mean to you when you say you can see it from the broth?
When it has a pinkish color...
Oh, broth.
Broth.
How do you pronounce that?
Broth.
Broth?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
When it has a pinkish color, it feels more... I don't know.
No problem. Come back to it.
Okay.
So don't lose your chance to smell the broth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Feels juicier, and the roastiness is a little bit more intricate. Is that the right word to use?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it got the toastiness up there too.
Yeah.
And it has less of the feeling, almost none of the feeling that it got stuck at my nostril.
Yeah.
It goes up. And let me see if it goes through the throat. Also, it goes through the throat too.
But the way that it hits the throat is different, though.
Different.
The way that the first one hit the throat is big. And just like, boom.
Yeah.
Pop against the throat.
Yeah.
This one
It's
reaches the throat.
Touch.
Yeah.
Like I would say, it just go in and light touch.
Yeah.
And it goes up.
Yeah, it goes up. It goes both.
It goes up.
Yeah.
Also, I would say on the fruity side. And things compared to the first tea feels the line is longer and softer.
And there's also a kind of dried herb note in this tea that the first one didn't have.
The first infusion already feel in the mouth texture. It feels, it puff up further to the roof in a very nice round way. Spray on the tongue extremely well. Go to the side, go underneath the tongue. Also, just like the first tea. I would say it's not as heavy. Like the first tea is very like strong on all those concepts. So I would say first tea is actually great to watch.
Yeah, totally.
Like very direct way to like watch when the tea can cover the tongue extremely well. Go to the side of the tongue and go underneath the tongue.
When the first tea hits the mouth, it was kind of like just a big juicy chunk of tea.
Chunk, yeah, that's right.
Chunk. It's got the edges, but it's big and satisfying. This one feels more like flowing. Like there's as I sip the broth, there's like actually a almost visible motion or movement in just the way that the broth moves through my mouth. And then as I swallow it, maybe because it's more me, because it's more concentrated, you can see more clearly the kind of path that it takes.
Yeah, but it's not as big though.
Not as big.
The tea is
no.
It doesn't feel that big.
Yeah. So I wouldn't call this one a chunk at all.
I would call it a gentler chunk. Gentle chunk. is see the second infusion. Second infusion, I will pay more attention on the throat area than just like the last time. Just make the experience a bit more consistent. How?
I think since you said me is such an important thing to look for in good tea.
Jeez.
Isn't it like such a essential thing to pay attention to if you want to identify better tea?
Mm-hmm. But we'll work on it. We'll try to find a way to communicate. Yeah. And then if we have like later, I guess if people want to experience that, they can use tea, these two exact teas, if they're curious with this subject, or if we like drink something, like a beverage that people can buy.
Oh, true. Yeah.
And it's a bit more direct way to talk about the subject, and we'll maybe ask people to buy those two beverages and then go to town with it. Tea, I think, compared to other beverages, is still on the lighter side, and I think it's some of the nuances are harder in the beginning to grasp, and yet tea is such a big thing when it comes to sensations. Yeah. It's like long lasting and so many
different kinds of sensations. Yeah.
So second infusion.
That broth smells great.
Surface on the broth scent texture thingy. Yeah.
As it goes up, so the first time I could just notice that it went past my nostrils effortlessly. This time there's more of a full texture starting to show up as it goes up.
You can see it flow, right?
Yeah.
You can see the line flowing.
You can watch the shape of it.
Yeah, you can watch and then it's more complete, and the line is longer than the previous tea.
Oh.
And also it flows to the throat just really lightly, but it goes up. This tea goes up, no problem.
I'm feeling it really clearly between my eyebrows.
Actually, it goes to the ear too. The lines start to really get more and more clear when you pay attention to it.
Oh, that's really fun.
This time I only pay more attention on the throat area, and maybe the aftertaste too then. But the throat, when the way it touch, seriously, I'll use the word touch. Like it touch the throat in a almost like a good massage. And the first one you say, how do you say it hit it?
Bam! Yeah.
Bam! It hit the throat and then almost bounce back. And this one just like it move gently and it touch.
It knows just right which place to touch, right?
Yeah,
the big one is just like kind of just going for whatever's back there, and then there's
boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of force.
Yeah.
Nice. And then this one's more. It knows just in a more exact way. It knows just the right place to touch, and it touches it.
Like a good massage.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really craving for a good massage. Also, I'm craving for a haircut. All right, now let's go into the third infusion.
Cool.
Of this second roasted gentle chunk oolong.
Gentle chunk.
I wonder what this tea is. We should change the name on the website or something.
Call it the gentle chunk.
Yeah. And then the first tea we just call it the chunk.
The chunk.
Oh, and then third infusion, after I drink it, please remind me to smell the empty cup.
Oh, yeah. Forgot to do that in the last infusion.
Yeah. Also brew it a little bit longer.
Sounds good.
On the third infusion.
Sounds good.
The third infusion on this gentle chunk oolong, the surface broth almost come to a point. It feels like there's a point on the surface of the broth. And then when I start to smell it, it come into a point and then start to split. So fun. Dang, who is this gentle chunk?
I like this gentle chunk.
Yeah, it's really it feels juicy on the smell, and it just floats and soft. The texture puff, touch and massage my throat, go to the side of my tongue, go under, just like almost right away. Actually, it spreads so much, it go to the back of my ears. Yeah. salivation, I would say, feels gentler than the previous, the chunk. Oolong. Yeah, but everything about it connects more. The movement is more on how it moves inside of the mouth and how it moves to the throat. It feels more movement somehow. And I hope here you can see why I'm a little bit obsessed with this subject is the physical liquid. It's water and it moves the same way. However, when you steep it with different tea, if I will say it's still water and it should move the same way. It go into my mouth, it moves the throat.
I mean, just the physical liquid, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And yet, because of different teas, they have different capacities, it starts to create the different movements. Yeah. And so, if you can trace that, and I still sincerely ask people to trace the scent in the nose and the texture of the broth, how it moves and how it spread and etc. in the mouth. When a tea can move more, can you imagine how it possibly can move inside of the body, the way it moves directly inside the body and the way it starts to spread out inside of the body. But without here as a foundation, is that what you say?
Grasping,
drawing.
You are like, clouds, shadows.
You can start to actually imagine things, which I think is for me, I will still use the harsh word, it's a dangerous practice. It's a tea practice without roots.
It's a top-heavy practice.
Yeah. Because you start to use your head to imagine things.
But if you can, when I'm taking...
Oh, empty cup, sorry. Just totally change the subject.
When I'm going to smell the empty cup,
it's just softer. This one have a texture of almost buttery.
And that texture, that sensation is immediately available. All you have to do is watch it. Yeah. I mean, you know how to taste things. You know how to put things in your mouth and swallow them.
Yeah.
Right? It's just right there. And there's just, the more you pay attention, the more practice you have, the more will start to show up in that space. Become more sensitive with just your mouth and with your nose.
Yeah. And practice both ways. I think as tea drinkers, we always try to, just imagine and eager to drink really good teas and mind-blowing teas. But with this kind of practice, when you become so focused on the physical sensation of the broth in the mouth, then it also will actually take you to really experience really bad teas. And we need to also drink to have the experience of bad teas to start to lure out the experience of good teas. Everything is by comparison, right? There's darkness, there's light. If there's no darkness, what do we know what light is? That's what we perceive ugly things. Therefore, it also gives us the feeling of beautiful things. So tea the same. Oh, the texture is really not going anywhere.
Or even just average teas.
Correct. It's not going everywhere. It's kind of okay, adequate, and not going anywhere. Okay, this is a average tea.
But to know that is, a stepping stone to knowing what a better tea can do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you can be really clear.
Just keep watching.
Hey, I like House Oolong. It's solid, good taste. When it hits the tongue, it just kind of sits there, right? It just that's the feeling of House Oolong tea. Especially when you get into texture. I mean, you can talk about the notes that it has.
Yeah.
Maybe it has some interesting notes.
Sure.
But when you feel the broth in your mouth, it's there. Doesn't have much of a throat sensation. If you can clearly know that and drink it for what it is, then when you hit maybe dongding or taegwanin, traditional style taegwanin, they're both roasted teas.
Yeah.
Relatively similar notes, not the same at all, but relatively similar in that they're roasted and kind of heavy bodied. But you know what you're paying attention to, right? You know what's in your mouth. They start to move more. They start to move. There starts to be more complexity. And that's what you're paying for. That's why those teas took more effort for the farmer to make. That's why there's more intention behind the whole process of those growing all the way to roasting.
Yeah. And I think also that is a way to prepare us to watch those things that can move more, because it's also prep us to watch the tea that can move really fast beyond almost our capacity to watch it. But because we practice, I think eventually there's a way to watch them. Yeah. And I am, in a way practice that to watch the teas.
So I was listening to our teacher talk, recording that we took of our teacher talking about tasting tea. And he was talking about you start to have, when you're listening to a tea, drinking a tea, sensations arise, right? Feelings arise. And he used the word arise. But if we want to be able to, you asked him, how do you know, you're not imagining it? He said, you have to be humble and you also have to be quiet. Like, you have to be quiet if you want to be able to taste those, feel those sensations, especially the more intricate they get, especially.
Wow. Yeah. So I think that's why I keep using the word watch. Keep watching. Even though I'm drinking my tea, I am watching my tea as well. Try to learn and watch them, how the tea can move or not move, etc., etc. We are done with these 2 teas, and wonderful experience today. I'm happy of what we do today, actually, in the session. And so announcement is we are going, we will have one more live session on tea brewing, but more on the things that I'm working on and practicing for the past month. I just want to share with people. And then we might have some, I will call it pop-ups on the live sessions whenever I feel up to it. Very possibly for Chinese New Year, we'll have a pop-up live streaming on blind tasting of Dongding oolongs, because I just feel like it. And so meanwhile, what are we doing then with to hold our connection with our customers is to film YouTube videos and try to get the in a way the tea sharing and knowledge a little bit more consolidated in a very more systematic ways to and easier to search with the subjects that you might be possibly more interested in.
Well, here's the way I think about it.
Okay, cool. Go for it. Sorry. I can
No, go ahead. But this is the way I think about it. In our shop, we're able to just show people stuff.
Yeah.
Like if someone has a question, we have our teaware, we have our tea.
Yeah.
We can just brew a tea, right? And talk about something. Since we started expanding more online across the country, we can't be everywhere. We can only actually be here.
Yeah.
Right now, in particular. I think the live sessions are a great way to hang out. But like you said, the information is not consolidated.
No.
So if people have a question like, how do we brew tea? Well, we don't have a simple answer.
Yeah.
That's the obstruction, I guess, is that we can't just say put 3 grams of tea in a 40 milliliter pot, whatever.
Yeah. X amount of minutes.
Yeah. Because that's not how we brew tea. And if people are in the shop, we can clearly explain and show.
Yeah.
But you really need the visual component to be able to show and see what is not only what does it look like when you're using intuition to put the tea leaves in the pot, but also what is the feeling, right? What is the feeling of a person brewing tea?
Yeah.
Because when you have the feeling of a person brewing tea, you can copy it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll still tell you guys the best way to learn brewing tea, and that's how I started, is I watch people.
And when people come to the shop, they can watch us. But if you're in Kansas, and we're all in lockdown right now, video is like the only way, right, to really watch that process.
True. But we will still continue to do our podcast. This is a fabulous way to connect with people. And I think sometimes by listening is even better than watching.
Yes.
So both ways are very good. And so we're going to tackle both of the ways. One is just the sound of it, and one is actually the visual part of it for you guys to get feelings and the visual part of the feelings and to get the answers a little bit more consolidated in the title of the videos that you can search, that you more like, I seriously don't know how much tea to put in there. We are going to touch on the subject to how much tea to put in there.
How long to brew the tea?
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And then after all I will call it the more basic stuff.
Like the getting started stuff,
started stuff, then we're going to touch a little bit more deeper stuff of tea brewing and tea drinking. Yeah. And we are very excited to work on this project. We already contacted our cousin Jake, the photography and the filming guru of our team. And we try to find a way to do it safe with him and to get that going on. So hopefully by the end of February, we'll have our first few videos up on our YouTube channel. Super exciting. Yeah. I think that's it.
Cool.
Unless you have something else to say.
Well, I was kind of curious if you had a guess of what the teas are.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The huge chunk is Dongding traditional tea. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, is that right?
Yeah, you know which one it is? It's actually traditional B.
It's traditional B?
Yeah, it's traditional B.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I haven't drank the tea for a while. I kind of just say it's a
Yeah, really good. Traditional B.
And then the second tea, the gentleman chunk, is Ye Fang Oolong.
Oh, brutal.
Oh, brutal.
Brutal.
Oh my God. Oh, brutal. Oh no.
It's actually not on our site.
It's not on our site.
It's going to be on our site. It's the new deluxe charcoal dongding. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No wonder I see it's a Ye Fang Oolong, because Ye Fang Oolong always remind me of some of the dongding feeling too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
Still charcoal roasted tea. That's good.
Yeah.
Still charcoal roasted tea. Still feels like dongding.
Okay, people, I'm going to close down the session. I'm going to cry for only 35 minutes in the back room. Actually, not bad.
Not bad.
I would say not bad.
But, I mean, tea tasted really good today.
Yeah.
We've tasted it one time before.
Only.
Yeah, only.
Oh, cool,
when it first
cool.
came in, and this is the second time tasting it. I think it's opening up really well.
Oh, I'm excited with this one.
Yeah.
And we'll wait for it to open up even more and to share with people on our website. It possibly might get into our blind tasting lineups.
Cool. Sounds good.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
With that, yeah. See you next Monday.
See you. Yes. And be safe. Happy tea drinking. See you on Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.